welcome back to Sex, Brains and Money. I am here with my first guest of the morning, which is Leanne Iskander. Thanks for joining us, Leanne.
No problem.
So Leanne has been very involved in the fight to incorporate gay-straight alliances into high schools in Ontario. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how this all came to be and how you got involved in this fight?
Well, in September of 2011, when I was in grade 11 in my school, I decided to start a gay-straight alliance at my school because I felt like there was really a need for it. Like our school and like a lot of Catholic schools, they didn't really do anything for queer and trans students. I know our schools never had like any anti-homophobia events. It's never even mentioned in the curriculum. So, and like a lot of other queer and trans students in the school really needed that kind of support. So I decided to try and start a group like that in my school, and I soon found out that I wasn't alone. Like a lot of other, like when this went to the media, a lot of other students in other Catholic schools contacted me, and they've gone through the same thing in their school. Or were trying to start these groups, and they were coming up to a lot of resistance from their administration and the school boards.
I can imagine. Well, when I was going to high school, which was more years ago than I would like to admit, we didn't have anything even close to a gay-straight alliance. I mean, anybody who wasn't, following the perfect straight and narrow along the way, there really wasn't much support for anybody. So I think it's really great that you were fighting for that. So you encountered a lot of resistance from the school, and at that point it started to become a government issue. Tell us a little bit about what the government's response was when you started raising this issue with government officials.
Well, initially, we always felt like the policy was in place for them to do something about it. Like there was like a policy that would suggest that that schools have to allow GSAs, but that wasn't being enforced. And then I think in around February, the government came out with Bill 13, which had protections for student groups for students who are minorities, for groups that combat sexism or homophobia. And so since then we've been pushing to get it amended to have more specific protections for gay-straight alliances, and that was passed recently. So
well, that's great. Well, from what I remember, the Catholic school board was very, very against the whole idea. And when somebody said, "Well, why won't you allow a group that's called a Gay-Straight Alliance?" there was an official who said, "Well, we don't allow Nazi groups either," as if they, as if the two are comparable in some way, which is ridiculous. I think that is it true that they tried to push you to use other names like the Rainbow Club or the Inclusivity Group or something like that?
They actually didn't allow the name Rainbow Club.
They didn't even allow that.
Oh.
I didn't know rainbows were so offensive to people, but I guess to some people in the Catholic school board they are.
Yeah, they always just tried to make an effort. Even when they had to allow us a group, they tried to hide it. They would try and hide us as a subsection of another existing group, or with a really generic name, which is counterproductive because the whole point of the group is to be visible in our school community.
Of course. I mean, if you can't even use the word gay, then how can someone feel comfortable attaching that, that label to themselves or anything else like that? And of course, Catholic teaching, the last thing they want to do is even acknowledge the possibility that there might be people out there that aren't straight, God forbid. So where are things now? It's just about the beginning of August. We're going to have school starting up in September. Do you think that the Catholic school boards are going to play ball with the government and do what they're supposed to do, or what do you think is going to happen?
Well,
next?
They've said that they'll comply with the law, but we would think that they would try and find some way to get around it. And we're expecting resistance from them.
Do you think it's going to be difficult to get or teacher representatives to participate? Because I think groups are supposed to have a teacher. Do you see them trying to tell the teachers not to get involved or something
actually,
like that?
This year we tried to get a certain teacher for a group, and they actually just said no because she was too political. And they want someone who's Catholic, and they're trying to put the chaplain with the groups in some schools, and it's not good. And a lot of teachers are scared to get involved anyway because teachers aren't even allowed to be out in the Catholic school system. They could lose their jobs. And since it's been so political, it's hard to get teachers involved. Oh,
that's understandable. Well, you know what? I think you've done a great job bringing this issue to light and done an excellent job of engaging with the government officials to make sure that they understand what their responsibilities are to every student in Ontario. So thanks very much for joining us today. I'm glad you could give us a little bit of information on what's going on with GSAs. So we're going to take a short commercial break and come back with Adam Golding, who's going to talk about consciousness and music. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.